Now, several analysts continue to predict that throughout 2026, this situation is not getting better. And it's kind of coming for all sorts of components now. GPU, SSD, RAM, everything. So yeah, this video is actually gonna help you save some money, some of it, and actually have really good value for that money. So let's circle back to the OG question that we ask ourselves before buying. Does it still make sense to build a gaming PC right now? I mean, it's a resounding yes, because the kind of experience you get on a gaming PC is not what you can get anywhere else. Delaying it further is going to kind of mess up your build even further. Definitely do go for an AM5 build because it kind of is future-proofing you, because you can rest assured the next 4 AMD processors that come in, or at least 3 AMD processors that come in, you will definitely be able to upgrade to that specific processor, because as seen with AM4, this platform has longevity, right? So, बेहतरीन चीज़ है वो. And make sure that we have a CPU that can handle gaming workloads and a GPU with enough VRAM to last you for at least 3-4 years. Yeah, at least. Bare minimum, right? Bare minimum. Now, the processor in this build is 9850X3D. It is an 8-core processor, probably all the cores you need if you're actually gaming. Seriously. Okay, gaming ke liye 8 core, even 6 core is enough, but yeah, 8 cores is the sweet spot. 16 threads, 5.6 GHz, and 96 MB L3 cache is where the magic's at, actually. And yeah, this processor also gives you good multitasking chops. And the next up is the graphic card, which kind of decides the long-term future of your build, how soon or how late you upgrade. Now, the 9070 XT comes with 16 GB of VRAM, which technically means that of all the games released in the last 15 years, barring 2026, maybe a couple of titles, a handful of titles, you are getting 4K 60 plus performance on everything possible. And when I say 60 plus in certain games, you could see that 200, 300 as well. So yeah, the 9070 XT is a solid puncher above the weight, even in terms of the price you pay for it. 16 GB VRAM, as good as it gets. And on the RAM side, we have 32 GB of G-Skill Trident Z RAM, 32 GB RGB RAM. For now, there's probably no reason to buy anything above 32 GB. 2 16 GB sticks, you're sorted. You're sorted for the foreseeable future, actually. Probably you may never ever need to buy RAM if you're on a gaming PC build, if you're buying this much RAM. And yeah, I mean, you have a B850 motherboard and 850 watt power supply. That's about it. SSD, up to you, right? Today, if I were buying today, I would just buy a 500 GB SSD and a bigger capacity HDD, save some money. And talking about gaming benchmarks, so we've done the benchmarks for a multitude of games at 1440p and 4K. We have Counter-Strike averaging 391 FPS on 1440 max settings. 4K is giving us 196 average, and the 1% lows aren't too bad as well. We are at 170 FPS on the 1% lows. On Wukong, with cinematic preset 1440p with FSR 4 on at quality, we are getting 85 FPS and 1% lows of 69. On a similar preset on 4K, we are seeing 65 average FPS and 1% lows of 56. That's even more playable than you could imagine, right? I mean, for the price you're paying. On Alan Wake 2, we are seeing 67 average FPS on 1440p and 55 average FPS on max settings. 1% lows are slightly lower in Alan Wake 2, but hey, we're talking about 1440p and 4K over here. Now, Resident Evil, I mean, I expect this to work really well. 77 FPS on 1440p and 68 FPS on 4K. And Resident Evil is actually a fairly recent title. And getting 60 plus FPS on 4K, that's not bad, is it? Especially for the amount you're spending. Up until now, playing at 4K with good presets, higher presets, high quality presets wasn't really possible because of the price bracket, and you couldn't really get that performance. But hey, now here we are. A quick note about FSR Redstone. So AMD's new FSR Redstone is essentially a compilation of various technologies, and unlike previous versions of FSR, which were software based, this is hardware based as well. Uses machine learning to improve the quality much further. Hey, where have I heard that before? Anyhow, in previous FSR versions, stuff like shadows and particles didn't contain motion vectors, which would many times cause flickering. FSR Redstone solves this using AI interpolation, predicting missing elements to double frame rates without any artifacts of flickering. Awesome, right? AI के problem को AI ने ही solve कर दिया. Kind of makes you realize that शायद शुरू में सही से नहीं किया था, but at least now दे रहा है, दुरुस्त है, right? Now pair this with an updated CNN based model using upscaling, you can definitely play most games. Most games, yeah, almost everything on 4K with great visuals and high frame rates. Even in today's market, you can definitely put together a system which looks good, performs really well, and works well at 4K, which is kind of like the upper range of the gaming experience you can have today with a gaming PC, right? Now, quick note, thanks to AMD for partnering with us on this video. Yeah, thank you, man. Big name partners we have. Look where we now. Yeah, so peace out. Leave your comments. Tell what you want to say about this build or any other build that we have on our channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. God bless you guys.
We're also offering the AMD game bundle with eligible builds. You can get the entirely free copy of Crimson Desert. You just need to scan the QR on the screen, fill up the form, go to this website, sign up and claim the game for yourself.